which is my way of introducing our conversation with Hank Schless this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Scams and how easy they are to perpetrate, particularly if you are a senior citizen. That is our topic, talking with Hank today. He's a senior manager of security solutions at Lookout. Hank, good morning. How come scams are just everywhere, and why are they so prolific? Why do people make money off of them?
Well, because honestly, they're getting really good at doing it. We've all, in the last, since email was a thing, digital scams have been out there, right? And now with cell phones, smartphones, tablets, however you want to call it, we rely on these devices so much to communicate with each other, and it's such a fluid communication. And we expect things like text messages from our banks to notify us when there's strange activity. And we that's something that we trust the device and all that to deliver to us so that we can protect our money, our identity, whatever it may be. And that trust is exactly what these attackers are taking advantage of. And they're really trying to make things look real. I got a text yesterday morning about someone trying to log into my Amazon account from Russia, and it looked really legit. I got to give it to them. But, obviously the link that was in it was not an Amazon link, and, they would never contact you in that way. But it just kind of, I sent it to my whole family, including my parents, and said, hey, guys, this is exactly how they get you. This could be for your Amazon account. It could be for your bank account. It could be for, your United Healthcare account, whatever it may be.
And I bet you, especially in the business that you're in, when you sent that out, you got a couple of skeptical responses from some of your close family members who said, is this real? Is this really 100%. You, Hank?
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily they have my number saved and know that, I use Lookout on my phone to protect myself. So I'm good and clear, but and that skepticism is good. Honestly, it's better than being overly trusting in all the communication that you get.
Are we basically lazy when it comes to that type of security? We set it up once and we say, okay, now I'm set for life. I don't ever have to look at it again. I don't have to worry about it again. The
fact is that for most people, there isn't even that first setup on it, right? It's just that you get your phone, you start to download all the apps and log in and all this stuff, and they don't even do things like enable multi-factor authentication, which, sends you a digital code every time you try to log in as an extra level of security. And a lot of people don't even take that first step because you want things on your phone and your digital life to be as convenient and quick as possible. And they see that as a step of, of something getting in the way of them achieving what they want to more quickly, whether, maybe it's logging into your bank account on your phone. And, so I think that it's that, and then again, it's that trust. It's saying, oh, well, this is a thing that I have in my pocket all day long. I use it as my alarm and I sleep next to it. And, I track all my fitness and finances and all this stuff on there. Why would it ever do anything bad to me? It only acts in my own best self-interest, when the fact is it's just another piece of hardware that attackers can exploit.
I'm picturing the senior citizen of 30 to 40 years from now having grown up in a world where this is, the digital technology that we have embraced now has been a part of their entire lives, as opposed to the senior citizen of today who has come into it later in life and it's all brand new to them. I'm picturing that person 30 or 40 years from now being much more savvy than today's senior citizen. Would I be right about that?
I think you absolutely are. And of course, who knows what the next piece of technology that we're all going to be so reliant on will be. But, in the context of today, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, this is it's not just a new piece of technology, but it's just an entirely new environment, an entirely new ecosystem for these folks to be operating in. And if they only got a smartphone in the last 5 years, they finally decide that it's time to hang up the flip phone and get something where they can FaceTime with their grandkids or whatever it may be. And and again, that level of trust is what's being exploited, and the level of trust is for them, they look at it and they say, oh, this is a device I use to communicate with my family. It's what I use to keep up with everybody. I can store my credit card on here to make things easier, so I don't have to go into my bag every time. And that's the exact trust that's being leveraged against them, especially when it comes to creating these really, really high pressure situations where they get a text message that says that there's been $5,000 withdrawn from their Bank of America account, and anyone, their immediate first thought is, okay, what do I have to do to fix this? For those of us who have grown up with these devices, or even had them through kind of the later parts of our teenage years or whatever it may be, we know that likely isn't legitimate, especially because the link that comes with it is probably something that looks different, looks weird. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that they just don't know to look for those red flags, and so I think it's really important for us as kind of their children or their grandchildren, whatever it may be, to say, hey, these are a couple of things to keep an eye out for. Understanding that even though the world has gone digital, communication from these entities will typically happen over the phone or over paper mail. Like, for example, I know the IRS only communicates through mail. Mm-hmm. And then, on top of that, helping them proactively put security software on their phone. Again, in the same way we always knew how to do with our computers because of viruses and things like that. With mobile security, you can protect yourself against these phishing scams.
Hank Schless is our guest here this morning. Hank, it sounds like, where we would love to have a society where everybody is able to trust and be of that nature. At the same time, it might be a little healthier to be kind of cynical.
It really is. It's healthy to operate with what I call optimistic skepticism, where you want to believe everything, but you just sort of take that extra, those extra couple seconds to doubt it, right? Mm-hmm. And just be sure, especially when it comes to things like your digital identity and your personal information on the internet, just really be sure before you engage with anything that communication is legit. And the best way to do that is to, if you get a message from anyone asking you to log into your account, whether it's your Google Drive account or your bank account or your PayPal, whatever it is, don't engage with that message directly, especially if it's a text message. What you should do is go on that company's website, their real website, look up their contact information, call them, get in touch with their customer support, and ask them if it's a legitimate piece of communication, because they will have record of anything that they've sent out, and they'll be able to tell you if it's legit or not.
And Hank, should we panic when we realize that we've clicked something we shouldn't have? Is the first response to panic?
So, well, fair question. For what we're talking about, when it's, we have people who are trying to steal credentials, there is sort of a second step where it brings you to a page, and then you have to log in to this fake login page, and then that's how they steal your credentials. So there is a little bit of a buffer there if you realize, like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Close the page, cancel it, or stop it from loading, whatever. But that's really, that's honestly where one of the things that Lookout does steps in, right? We will block that connection from ever happening in the first place, because there are some links out there that will actually, if you click on it, either automatically start downloading an application to your phone or ask you to download an application to your phone. Maybe it's a fake UPS notification, and you get a notification to download, what looks like a UPS app from a third party, and that can be way scarier. But for the context of what we're talking when it comes to really credential theft, you do have a half second or so to realize that maybe you shouldn't have done that, and you'll still be safe.
So tell me more about Lookout. What do you do?
So for Lookout, we provide mobile security solutions for the consumer, and then mobile and cloud security solutions for the bigger enterprise companies out there. So our goal on the mobile side, because it's what we're talking about today, is to protect people against malicious phishing links, against malicious applications that have risky or risky capabilities built into them, and also make sure that you're safe from risky network connections and what we call device compromise, where somebody actually takes over your entire device. From the consumer side, we also do provide identity protection for all of our customers. We provide you up to $1 million in identity theft insurance, and we also help you. We notify you if any of your sensitive information appears anywhere on the dark web, which we're constantly crawling for this type of information.
Where do we find out more?
So you can find out more on lookout.com. You can also find us on both the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store if you want to protect your phone and keep yourself safe from threats like this.
But there probably are a lot of people that hear this and say, I know it's the way that I should behave, but Hank, I just want to be the trusting guy that I was growing up and that my grandparents told me that all people should be.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a personal. It is totally just like any other sort of, whether you decide to install home security or not, it's totally your choice. But these days, securing anything that stores your personal data, especially digitally, should be a no-brainer for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Lock your card and take your keys.
Exactly.
Hank Schless, thanks for spending some time with us today. Enjoy Boston.
Thank you so much. You have a good time as well, and have a good rest of the day.
All right, bye-bye. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 and AM 1160.